Welcome back to another income portfolio update, showing all of the income I receive outside of my work salary. In this video, I'll give you an update on the dividends I received in April, and my dividend stock portfolio in general, including any stocks that I bought or sold. I'll also discuss my premium bond position, and what I won in the April prize draw. And finally, I'll run through my income and expenditure for my real estate investments. What I'm trying to do on this channel is to build a portfolio of cash flow generating assets that pay me each month. And these monthly update videos show how I'm progressing. So let's get straight into the numbers. Firstly, looking at my dividends. In April, I received £132.41 from 6 different companies. I've seen a small increase of £7.68 from last year's April total of £124.73. And the totals have been growing year on year, which is really nice to see. Comparing last year's April dividends to this year's, we can see that I've sold out of Bank of America, which only paid me £2.88. I also received Trig and VHYL in April last year, but received them in March this year, as per my last monthly update. I've had quite a big uplift in my dividend amounts, comparing this year's to last year's. Barclays is £15.23 higher, and the Diageo and Realty Income dividends have nearly doubled. So how do my dividends look if we zoom out and look at the totals? This graph shows how much I've received at this point during the last few years. Again, it's nice to see this increasing, and it's also really pleasing to see where I once was compared to now. This graph shows all of the dividends that I've ever received, and we can see that the numbers have been increasing year on year as I keep contributing and reinvesting my dividends. There are a lot of monthly fluctuations just due to the different payment dates of my holdings, so this is why I prefer to focus on monthly averages rather than individual months. So for 2024, I'm currently averaging £133.28 a month, which is still below my 2023 average of £151.01. This is just because my largest payment months are March, June, September and December. And if we look at the average at this point last year, we can see that it was £100.92. So it's motivating to see that the year-to-date average has increased by £32.36, which is quite a solid amount. However, to get a more accurate analysis of the average, I'll have to wait and see what the full year average is. All dividends received are always reinvested back into the portfolio to buy more shares that will pay more dividends, and then I just allow the compounding process to do its work. Now let's have a look at my stock portfolio that generates these dividends. It currently stands at £62,088 invested. I don't ever plan on selling any of the principal, so I don't really pay too much attention to the market value of my portfolio, as it's something that I can't control. As a dividend investor, I'm only ever interested in the income that the portfolio generates through dividends, which are always reinvested back into the portfolio. So what is my portfolio made up of? As always, being fully transparent, here it is showing all unrealised gains and losses. Most portfolios will have winners and losers, and I'm no different. I always make a point about being open and honest about my investing journey. I'm not an expert, I'm not a guru, and I don't pretend to be. I'm just a normal person trying to improve their financial situation and documenting the process through this channel. I want this channel to show the power of consistency and long-term thinking. I hope that in a few years, someone could go back through all of my videos and think, I could do this process works. And I think this is why I'll never become a big YouTube channel, but I'm completely fine with that. The big channels seem to post a lot of sensationalism, whereas I always want to keep things realistic. If you appreciate my approach and want to follow along, I hope that you'll consider liking the video and subscribing to the channel. As always, it's something that I really appreciate. Let's now look at how much I deposited into my portfolio in April. Once again, I managed to contribute another £1,667. I'm hoping to invest £20,000 over 2024 and beyond, and max out my ISA allowance. Being able to do this will really help to turbocharge the snowball effect of building this portfolio. And I'll show you how I'm tracking to this plan in more detail later on in the video. As I mentioned a few times this year, I don't always use the cash that I deposit to buy shares straight away, and tend to wait until prices look appealing to me and my positions. I'm not trying to time the market over long periods, but just prefer to hold some cash back in the event of any short-term drops. Also, Trading 212 are offering 5.2% per annum on uninvested cash at the minute, which is paid daily. So I do still earn on my deposited cash, even if I'm not putting it into the market just yet. I wanted to illustrate what this looks like with a few example deposits. If you have a £1,000 cash position, you'd receive 14 pence per day and £52 per year. So if you have a £10,000 cash position, you'd receive £1.42 per day and £520 per year. If you want to sign up to Trading 212, I've put a link in the description. With the April deposit, I now have £4,893 in cash and earned £15.41 in interest over the month. Let's now have a look at how my total amount invested has grown from zero over time, using this graph. This graph keeps going up and up, which just reminds me of how consistent I've been over the years in adding to my portfolio each and every month. There isn't anything special or complicated that I do. I just stay disciplined and stick to my plan of contributing each month and reinvesting all dividends. These regular contributions are a key part of my overall strategy to keep feeding the portfolio, which increases my dividends and accelerates the compounding process. So let's have a look at the stocks that I've been buying over April. I've spent £1,372 adding to my existing positions. Realty income is still below my average price of $57, so I bought a further 12 shares at $52 to bring my average down a little bit more. I haven't bought any McDonald's shares for a while, and with the price dipping from $284 to $265, I decided to buy 3 more shares at $266.07 each. And finally, Coca-Cola dipped from $61 to $58, so I bought another 5 shares at $58.89. These buys will roughly add around £53 to my annual dividend totals. I am really keen to invest more into my ETFs, but the ones that I own currently are priced really close to their yearly highs. This is EUHD, my European Dividend ETF. This is HDLG, my US Stock Dividend ETF. This is VHYL, my All-World Dividend ETF. This is VOOC, my FTSE 100 UK Dividend ETF. And this is VUSA, my S&P 500 ETF. As you can see, they're all at really high valuations currently, and probably a bit over what I'd like to pay for them. It's times like this that I do wish that Trading 212 had options trading, as I definitely buy some cash secured puts to generate some options income. Hopefully UK investors will get that facility soon. But for now, I'll just hold a cash position until I'm ready. After these purchases, this means that the overall yield for my portfolio as a whole currently sits at 3.74%, which has dropped slightly from 3.75% in my last update. This equates to around £2,320 per year in predicted dividends, £193 per month, £45 per week, and £6 a day. There will always be a discrepancy between my actual dividends received and my predicted dividends, just due to the timing of me purchasing shares and then being eligible through the ex-date of the dividends. I hold all of my shares in the Trading 212 app, using a stocks and shares ISA, which means that all capital gains and dividends are tax-free, as I'm based in the UK. As mentioned earlier, you can also get 5.2% per year on all uninvested cash. If you are interested in starting a portfolio with Trading 212, I do have a link in the description where you can use my code, and we'll both get a free share worth up to £100. And if you wanted to, you can just sell that share straight away and pocket the cash. So how am I looking compared to my forecast? If you've watched my other portfolio updates this year, you'll know that I've created a forecast that I'm tracking my progress against this year. If you'd like to know how I calculated this, then I explain it in the January 2024 update video, which I'll link below. Doing this forecast allows me to monitor how this portfolio is developing, and also provides motivation to carry on doing what I'm doing, as it means that I can see what this portfolio could become in the future. So let's now see how I'm doing and look at my actuals versus the forecast. Over April, I forecast to add £1,667, and as mentioned earlier, I have contributed that amount again. 4 out of 4 completed so far with the deposits. I also forecasted to receive £144 in dividends and actually received £132, which was £11 less than expected. So if we add up my invested total plus my cash total, this comes to £66,982. After 4 months, I'm still on track to end the year at the 80k portfolio target. And I'm still around 2k ahead of schedule right now, so I'm very optimistic about hitting the 80k target if I carry on doing what I'm doing. Finishing the year with around 80k invested means that going into 2025, the portfolio will be generating a dividend of around £250 per month. This keeps me on course to hit 100k by the end of 2025. If you've seen my other video, you'll know why I think this is such an important milestone. Link in the description. It is really motivating to see that if I just keep doing what I'm doing, by the end of 2028, I could have a portfolio generating nearly £500 a month in dividends. Let's now have a look at what I received for my premium bonds in the April prize draw. My premium bonds are my emergency fund. They're a low-risk investment where you're entered into a monthly prize draw where you can win between £25 and £1 million tax-free. I do enjoy the fun of being part of these draws, and the more you have invested, the more chances you have to win. Any wins that I do have are just automatically reinvested into buying more premium bonds. And I have £16,200 invested of the £50,000 maximum that you are allowed. So what was the April prize draw result? Sadly, I didn't win anything again this time. My luck seems to be out so far this year. The expected prize rate is 4.4% over the year, and with average luck, I'd expect to win 9 prizes a year. Given that I've already had 3 months where I haven't won, hopefully I can win something each month for the rest of the year to pull this average back. If you appreciate my honesty and my transparency and want to cheer me up, please consider hitting that like button. I also invest in real estate and currently rent out 2 buy-to-let properties and a secure car parking space. So over April, this is what the numbers look like. The rental income has stayed the same. My 2-bed flat gets £1,000 a month and my 1-bed flat gets £775. I also get £80 a month for renting out the parking space. The management fee has stayed the same, as has the mortgage. I do have a fixed rate mortgage, but it's coming to an end soon. And it's not looking good for the new monthly fee so far, where it looks like I'll be paying an extra £160 a month, unless I can find a better deal. Frustratingly, I have had more repair bills again this month. This is a common occurrence if I'm being honest, and it really eats into my profits. A tenant reported that a hob on their cooker had stopped working, so it cost me £396 for one of the maintenance team to go round, fit a new one and dispose of the old one. I don't actually know how old the hob was, as it was there when I bought the property around 7 years ago. I'm either the world's unluckiest landlord, or tenants just aren't looking after my properties. Therefore, my pre-tax profit over April is £608.90. That concludes my monthly update, and this is the summary for the month, with £756.72 received. This is much lower than last month, mainly due to the real estate repairs. I do document my investing journey on this channel, and you can see how this has been progressing if you go back and watch some of my earlier videos. If you are interested in following along, Please subscribe to the channel to make sure that you don't miss any future updates. And if you have enjoyed this video, please hit that like button, as it does help the channel out a lot, and it's something that I really do appreciate. So I hope I've covered everything that you wanted to hear, but if not, feel free to drop me a question in the comments section below. I'll be reading and responding to every message that I can. Thanks again for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.